Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschachade Satarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Kind of become an ISKCON thing when we chant Hare Krishna, we raise our arms. But during this past 2 japa retreats, 3, Phoenix, Houston, and then Edison, New Jersey, Central New Jersey. There's a particular image that there's this fellow, his back to us looking at Krishna and his arms raised, and it's very natural. So it's kind of, I don't know if I should do it because it's like, but it's natural. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. It's not something that was done during Prabhupada's time, but it's very natural. Would you like some good news? Say yes. Yeah. I won't ask you the other one. Do you like some bad news? The good news is, Hari Parshad Prabhu has given his topic for the Gita Nagari retreat. He's the co-speaker. And his topic is, poetic. But, the remembrance of the sweet pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan, something like that. 3 classes. I don't know how he's going to, what pastimes, I don't know how. But I sent him a series of, maybe this, maybe that I'll speak on, now that I know what his topic is. And he said, don't worry, I'm not going to be touching any of those. So, suspense. And I think our organizers are going to have their hands full because in addition to the people that normally come, he has his own following. Mm-hmm. And to go to Gita Nagari with his following, and it's the notice is already gone out. You probably got one yourself. Save the date notice. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. And Garuda wrote to me saying, when are we going to go back to Gita Nagari again? And he was a lot of fun, right? Besides the topic was, up there. Some of you may or may not know. Some of you may know Yadubar Prabhu. And one of the things that he said, I don't remember if he said it in class or he said it to me, but in any case, I think he said it to me. Yadubara is the husband of the temple president in Bhaktivedanta Manor. The temple president is Vishaka Devi Dasi, and Yadubara is the husband of the president. But they're a good team. And Garuda described that one of the day he was invited speaker. Yadubar picked him up where he was staying and brought him to the Bhaktivedanta Manor, and he was walking with some tissues in a tissue box in his hand. So, conversation. Garuda asked him, "Are you not well?" He said, "I'm fine." "What's with the tissue box?" He said, when you speak, I laugh so much. I need a tissue box." And anybody that knows Yadubar, he's like, inside is something else, but outside is Mr. Straight-Faced. He's very soft inside, very soft inside, very devoted to Prabhupada inside as well. So here we go. This is chapter 15, 16. We're not going to complete everything, but Kaliya-damana. And the Kaliya pastime takes place during Krishna's Poganda age. There's the very young Kishora, and then Poganda. And there's a nice song, which you'll hear shortly. This is a prayer to Krishna, the crusher of Kaliya. And you're going to control the volume so it's not too high and not too soft. Oh, Krishna.
Kamam damodara mama mana pannaga pina bhogo. Kamam damodara mama mana pannaga pina bhogo. Dushtasini कुटिलवदने शोभयत्येष लोकम् कुटिलवदने शोभयत्येष लोकम् तद्विक्रान्तस्त्वमुदितपद द्वन्द्वपङ्केरुहाङ्कम् तद्विक्रान्तस्त्वमुदितपद द्वन्द्वपङ्केरुहाङ्कम् कुर्वन्तर्वीकर दमनहे ताण्डवे दण्डयामि
The source is a very nice set of prayers by Rupa Goswami, and glorifying, the focus is Krishna in Vrindavan. Oh, Lord Krishna, with its crooked motions and the sharp fangs of its wicked desires, the great snake of my mind torments the entire world. Oh, all-powerful Lord, oh, crusher of Kaliya, please punish that snake with your dancing. Please place on it the mark of your lotus feet. It's a nice introduction to the Kaliya-damana-lila. A nice way to appreciate any scripture, particularly the Bhagavatam, and this particular slide comes from Ramayana as well. There's 4 levels. There's the story itself, as easy to remember stories. And then each story has some lessons of Dharma, what's to be done, what's not to be done, proper conduct, improper conduct. Tattva, philosophical truths, heading to ultimately Krishna is the source of everything, and how everything fits into the source. And then, of course, rasa. So in the Kaliya-damana-lila, this is a demon or demoniac personality that Krishna doesn't kill. Yay, Krishna doesn't kill. But that what does that mean? You know, he did something very bad. He had demoniac tendency, but on the other hand, his wives, his wives were somehow very exalted devotees. So there was something inside besides, you know, the bad activity that he had engaged in. To have him become blessed by the dancing of Krishna's lotus feet. It's a very nice pastime in all four categories, especially rasa pastime. So in the beginning part, it starts at the end of chapter 15 and moves into the beginning of chapter 16. So Krishna becomes captured in the Kaliya's coils. Here's how it begins. Once, Krishna, surrounded by his boyfriends, went without Balaram to the Yamuna River. That was very important that Balaram wasn't there, because if Balaram was there, it really messed up the pastime. So he wasn't there. Plus, he had a nice role to play later in the pastime, so he wasn't like left out. He just was purposefully not there. Here's a nice description of this pastime from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Today is my birth tithi. Therefore, my affectionate mother has kept me, Balaram, at home in order to bathe me. Subal, tell Krishna that I said he should by no means go to Kaliya's lake today. Jiva Goswami writes, this is not the yearly birthday, but a monthly day when the moon enters his birth constellation. You know, parents need any excuse to do something. Which would be a big celebration. Krishna would not go out. It should be understood that the message could not be delivered quickly by Subal, who delayed going. Otherwise, as on previous days, Krishna would not have disobeyed Balaram's instructions on this day and gone to Kaliya's lake. So our acharyas have a lot to say on this. Here's what Sanatana Goswami writes. One day, he was wandering in Vrindavan at the end of his 6th year. During the summer season, he went without Balaram, since he knew that all the people of Vraja would enter the lake of Kaliya if Balaram was not there to prevent them. Because he's very strong, right? He was able to stop them all from entering the Kaliya lake. So Krishna needed Balaram to be absent. Jiva Goswami writes, he went without Balaram since he thought that Balaram would prevent him from entering the Yamuna, having been instructed by Yashoda to prevent Krishna from such rash behavior. The other boys surrounded him, Krishna, coming close in competition out of love, in order to see the beauty of his face, and to follow Yashoda's affectionate order to do so to protect him. So the cowherd boys had a double service. Their love and serving Mother Yashoda. So because Krishna could do rash things, so she wanted the cowherd boys to keep him from being too impetuous. Again, Jiva Goswami, though it would be proper to end chapter 15, or the killing of Dhenukasura, at this point, it continues out of feelings of suffering caused by confusion. And remember the incident of Kaliya, which actually happened previous to killing Dhenuka. Though Shukadev begins the story from the beginning, overcome because of his remembrance, he concludes chapter 15 with only an introduction to the story. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur agrees with the chronology that Jiva Goswami is writing. Sridhar Swami disagrees. Hey, contradiction amongst the acharyas. Cool, huh? Sridhar Swami says that it happened after Dhenukasura Lila. Next verse. At that time the cows and cowherd boys, feeling acute distress from the glaring summer sun, drank water of the Yamuna River, but it had been contaminated with poison. The cows, and then later the boys, drank the water. Though the cows tended to wander about because of thirst, due to the summer heat, seeing the water from high on the bank, the cows ran into the water without knowing about the poison. The boys were also afflicted by heat, but knew the water was poisonous. However, seeing that the cows had died, they also drank the water, wanting to give up their lives. Brijbasis, look at this. Thus, the cows are mentioned first, and the boys are mentioned second. The cows and boys went ahead of Krishna only a little distance, since they could not bear to leave him alone. Next verse. As soon as they touched the poisoned water, all the cows and boys lost their consciousness by the divine power of the Lord and fell lifeless at the water's edge. Now, did they die or did they become unconscious? Let's see what our acharyas have to say about it. Very nice illustration. There's Kali in the background, and there's the calves, because it's not cows yet, and the cowherd boys. And they look lifeless. They certainly look asleep. Looking at all in that condition who had no other Lord than him, without delay he brought them to life. Shukadev Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. Or suddenly Shukadev felt a manifestation of affection. Krishna glanced immediately with a glance of the greatest affection, a shower of nectar, because they had no other shelter. This could only be accomplished by the will of Krishna. Now, Krishna's glance is very powerful. Yes? I mean, creation happens just from his glance. He glances at Pradhan and voila. All kinds of things start to happen. So he has powerful glance. Catching the sidelong glance of Krishna, the gopis go mad. And also, his eyes, we know this. Who knows the verse? One sense can do anything any of the other senses can do. Angani yasya sakalendriya vritti manti, pashyanti panti kalayanti cheram chiganti. Where did our kirtan year go? I want to pick on him a few times. He went to the bathroom, okay. Let's see if he knows the verse. Now this is from a children's book painting, but it depicts the same scene. He brought them back to a healthy condition all at the same time, removing completely all fatigue and sorrow, because Krishna was the sole friend of all the people of Vraja and suffered their suffering. This is not astonishing because he is the Lord of all masters of yoga. And all of the yogi's powers arise from a small portion of his powers. Since he protects the yogis, how much more he'll protect the people of Vraja? Our acharyas have a profound love for Vrindavan, and they have a profound understanding of Krishna's love for Vrindavan and the residents of Vrindavan's love for Krishna, and it's certainly attractive. And it's for that reason that our acharyas have written not just verse by verse as is happening here, but other writings and other writings and other writings that are essentially commentaries on Srimad Bhagavatam, and particularly of fascination and profound appreciation is the kind of love that exists in Vrindavan, the sweetness of the love for Krishna that exists in Vrindavan. Regaining their full consciousness, the cows, now it says cows, but they're 6 years old, so wasn't it calves? When did Krishna begin taking care of the cows? What year? How old was he? Gopastami. How old was Krishna? Someone want to do some research homework? Do you like to do research homework? Yeah. So you have the assignment. You report to us tomorrow. Gopastami is a day when Krishna graduates from calves to cows. How old was Krishna? The first Gopastami, number 1. A rescue, listen. I remember rescue, listen. I remember the words of Gargacharya at the name-giving ceremony of Krishna and Balaram. Now, not that he was there, but he heard it. He heard about it. This child will save you from all dangers very easily. This is the secret. Saying this, with his glance to the other boys, they all remembered. With absorption, the object, Krishna. By this, they all became astonished. Now, Gargacharya didn't say how, but he just said, it was a gift. These are times when devotees had amazing powers, like super amazing powers. Two of them. Who was, quiz question, who was Devavrata's father? Devavrata became Bhishma. Santanu. Did Santanu have mystic powers? Say yes. One of those mystic powers, according to Bhaktivedanta purports in Canto 9, Santanu had the gift that if he simply glanced at somebody, their age would become youth. So he did a lot of glancing, and he did a lot of benedicting. but just glancing. And the second one, just by his words, he gave this benediction to his son. You'll not have to die unless you choose to die. What's that? Who has the power to do that? Santanu. So it was not, Krishna's being gifted, according to Gargacharya, with rescuing the Brijbasis by whatever means. Who knows? But he's powerful. Santanu was powerful. Many others were also powerful. So it was not like disbelief. It's just like amazement. It's certainly amazing. So here's another illustration. And the cowherd boys are reviving. And the cows look pretty big. Not calves. O king, this is Shukadeva Goswami speaking, the cowherd boys then considered that although they had drunk poison and in fact had died, simply by the merciful glance of Govinda, they had regained their lives and stood up by their own strength. Jiva Goswami. They surmised that it was the glance of mercy of the Lord of Gokula that brought them back to life. Or they thought that again they had been rescued from death, as is the case of Aghasura swallowing them by the grace of Govinda's glance. O king, this was applicable to you also. Nice. Who's he? These acharyas, they're poetic, but they have, they're expressing realization. It's not just poetic, not just it matches the pastime. So put this one over there and that one over there, and these great acharyas, they have profound appreciation of the relationship between Krishna and all the residents of Vrindavan, and there's something mysterious going on all the time between Krishna and all the residents of Vrindavan. And what is it? This is Bhajate Mam Ananyabhak. It's the undivided devotion where, very similar, almost identical with all that we've been speaking about, because I just came from New Jersey and we were speaking about this principle of chanting, of exclusive shelter. You are my only shelter. I have no other shelter. 2 principles of surrender or shelter taking, exclusive dedication, nothing else. That's the chanting of a pure devotee. And so these exalted personalities, they understand the residents of Vrindavan are like that. Whether they understood or didn't understand, Krishna is their shelter. He's their life and soul. If Krishna is in difficulty, because later it's going to happen, Krishna is in the coils of the Kaliya serpent. Wasn't too loud. And Balaram had to stop them because they were going to go jump in the Kaliya lake and rescue Krishna, but they'll die because of the poison. Okay, here we are at the beginning of chapter 16.